And what you'll notice when you move, oh, goodness me, I'm so sorry. When you move into, I did it again. Go back. When you move in on the properties, let me go back here. Sorry about that, guys. It's still going. My fault. I gotta get a mouse.
I was thinking about that just a few minutes ago watching you.
Yeah, these two little fingers here are not working.
So are you saying it does show the fault lines?
No,
Okay.
no, it doesn't show the fault lines yet. I don't know if they're gonna pull that in. There's some amazing things that, like since I've been teaching it, since it came out when I got certified, they've actually added a lot of things to this that weren't there before. So will it have fault lines? I don't know, but I don't put anything past what they've been able to do. I mean, what I see so far, I don't put anything past them.
Can I differentiate between properties that are occupied by homeowners as opposed to properties that are rented?
The tax information will tell you that. So we've got all that information here.
You have
Yes,
built in.
yes, it's built into the reports. I'm so sorry.
So
That's
you'd be able
it's
to
a little
pull up
bit.
the neighborhood and know how many rentals were in that neighborhood?
So let's look at that and see if we can pull that up. Okay.
Desiree,
Is
would
it-
you mind saying what we're going to search on, just so
Yes,
we get it on the report?
absolutely.
Sure.
And that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to do I'm going to filter some information first and show you a real scenario on a search, but I'm also going to show you how to do a search for distressed properties. Okay, anybody interested? You have investors. Okay, so let me go back and just hit home and try that real quick. Let's look at how to look for distressed properties. All right, how do we look? No, what is that, and how does that differentiate itself from what you do in Tempo?
Well, we look for short sale.
You look for pre-foreclosures. I mean, for foreclosures and short sales, right? But you don't look for pre-foreclosures. You're not able to find those. So in here, to look for properties that are in those are fed in here. So give me a zip code.
77381.
381. Now, amazingly, when I was doing some research yesterday, there were some areas that didn't have any. So let's see what happens.
Now, this pre-foreclosure is coming from, and where are you getting that from?
Sorry? Where am I getting?
Is that from, I mean, who feeds
The
that?
county records.
Oh, from the county?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is that defined as 90 days behind or more?
Well,
Depends on what they
It-
post, right?
correct. But there is a way to do market activity also on that. So we can do market activity. So if I just want distressed off my search result and see if there are any, then what I will do is come over here and so take off non-distressed, take off active, take off pending, and just leave distressed, and then filter that to see if there are any distressed. There's none. And I did that search yesterday, and there weren't any in that particular zip code. So let's look in another zip code.
Can you try 89?
89 77089. Did you say 77089?
No,
389.
Oh, 3. Sorry. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so this is everything, and what this is giving you is these are what a sale pending properties and so forth, right? As we go through here, that one's for sale. Okay, so we'll come here, and what I'll do is I'm going to take off my non-distressed, active, and my pending, and then we'll apply that. And these are pre-foreclosure. So there are 30 properties that are in pre-foreclosure. in 77389. Okay? And,
But they're not on the market.
well, some properties that are in pre-foreclosure are on the market. And you'll know that by looking at them. Okay? These just happen on this first page are not in the market.
They were probably on and then went off because they were foreclosed on.
Not necessarily. You'll know that by going through the details. And that's one of the things that we're going to do right now.
When it says pre-foreclosure, it never says sale/NF.
Correct. So I'm going to go through that right now and show you. So here's a scenario. Here's my scenario for you. You have a listing appointment, and you're going to use RPR as a resource before you go on that listing appointment to make sure you have all the information you need. So you were just told by that seller, I'd like you to come out and talk with me about potentially listing my home. So what do you usually do? You go in and you get tax information and so forth, right? But this time, instead of just getting information from all your other resources, you decide to use RPR too. So you come into your RPR and you type in 10227 Bowden Chase 77379, and then you search for it to see the result. And where is it? 10227. 10227. So I got earlier.
That's paid up.
Yeah, right? 227 Bowden. You know what? If I go here, because I looked for it before, it should come up. All properties in 2 streets. That's what it came up as here too. That's very interesting. 10227 Bowden 77379. None of these are in pre-foreclosure, so it's none of these properties. That's interesting. It's none of these. Okay, I'm going to use my backup. 7227 Vorgen, VORGEN 77379. VORGEN, Vorgen. There we go. So this is the details of it here. It tells you the name of the property. What it tells you here, it's off market because they want you to come and show the property, to talk with them about listing it. But what they didn't tell you is that they're in pre-foreclosure. But you figure that out just by searching for it. It tells you that right here. Does that make sense? As we look here, it'll show you here that there is an RVM. There is an RVM that was generated by Realtor Property Resource. The last update of the RVM was November 11th. Okay. Now, if you don't remember what an RVM is, there's a little eye here. You can hover your mouse over and it tells you what it is. So it reminds you right away of what that is. It gives you the details about the property here. Estimated square foot, the owner of the property. Now, it's an RVM because there was some sales information, right? We know that. So you're looking at this price and you're like, okay, well, what did they use to get this information? How did they come to that number? When you click on View Details, it will open up another window for you. So if I click on View Details, another window opens up, and this confidence rating is a 5-star. So it's showing you where the subject property is. And then over here, it's showing you all of the properties it's using to give you this particular number, and here are the properties. If you wanted to get more details on any of these, you can actually put your cursor over these and click on it, and you can actually go into the details of that particular property.
Why is it compared on a $238,000 value property to $138,000, $140,000, $118,000?
And that's why you go and override it. That's why you do that, because of the algorithm that the system's using. That's why you go in and you make changes to it. Does that make sense? Yeah. And over here, it's showing you the differences that the system had between last month and the last year. Okay? Here is where you'll be able to see the photos that the property has, all the historic photos that are listed with MLS. The properties, because the property's been listed, HAR's data is fed here. So if I click on this, it'll show me how many times it's been listed. Let's say it was listed 2 or 3 times. You could compare on another window all 3. So if I just hit compare here, I'm only going to see public records and the current property next to it. Is that making sense so far? So, and as you probably noticed so far, that I haven't left the original window I'm in. Everything that we've done has opened up another window on top of what we've been working on, so you're not losing your information. I can close this and we're still on that particular property. Here is the map, and if I pop this map open, it zooms into the subject property here, and it gives you all the properties around it.
Where are those numbers come from now?
These are this is all tax information. So when you click on it, you'll see the details, and you can go in and get your details. Down here in the bottom right, if you wanted to, you can look at flood zones here, concentration of distressed properties, and so forth by zooming in and out of that area.
Is it crime data being fed into it yet?
No, they're not going to do that, because of course you would provide a resource for the client to go to get that information. We do have an area called More About This Neighborhood, which I'll show you in a minute, but there's no crime statistics on it.
Okay. Because the FBI does publish the top 7 crimes. So some areas choose to.
Yeah, but from what I understand, you give them that.
Right, the source.
Yeah, give them this. You're the source of the source, but not the source, right?
But they do feed schools.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got that. I'm going to show that to you here. So as we come down, you'll see that you can add in your own content. So you can type your own notes here and decide if you want it in your report. And you can still change your mind even when you are creating your own report after this. You don't have to think, oh, if I don't do this now, I can't come back. You'll be able to do it. Here's a homeowner facts about the property here. Who is the lender? If it's owner occupied, you were asking that question earlier. Here's where it would show if it's owner occupied or not. Now with the home facts, if you knew more about the property, if you knew that the property had added on some square footage to it, you would be able to come in here and make that modification to your particular account, and it would make those adjustments to the CMA by square footage. Then you have your charts here where you can take the check boxes off for county, Texas, zip code in regard to the home value, going through by year. Now we get to the distressed information. Here is the recording date and the auction date and the auction time. Who's the trustee, the borrower, and what the unpaid balance is. More room details, local information. Some of the information here, sometimes there's not as much, sometimes there's even more. How you can hover over to see what that means. What is flood zone X, right? The school, legal description, information, tax data. Can you imagine where you'd have to go to get all this at one place? Now, if I go over to the next tab, this tab here, this is the history tab. This is showing you on this tab when the property was assessed. Okay, when there was a market value done, and when the distressed action was done. And if they had more than one distressed action, you'd see all these red lines going through it. Okay? Here is prior sales information, or prior sales transaction data, which you can toggle to. So you've got right here public record data. I'll show you that first. Here's a public record information here. Recording date, warranty deed, buyer name, husband, wife information, seller name, loan type, and then they have an extension here to show you more. They also have an area here where you can slide looking through the tax assessment. So if you hit next, that'll take you through previous tax information. If there were mortgage record data, you would be able to collapse this information here, and here's your distress data. Now right here, you can go from public records to MLS records. When I click on MLS record, that'll toggle you over to the MLS information. If there were more than one, then it would slide you through each one of those records.
So that's not currently on the market.
No, this is when it was listed before.
It was foreclosed in November.
No, that's when it's going up for auction,
Okay.
November 4th, which is tomorrow.
This is December.
I mean, I'm sorry, this is December. Little.
So it's passed. So,
The last one, the last distressed, the last auction date was in
so is
December.
that accurate? So what's the,
There is no disposition.
yeah, there's no disposition of the property, it's just sitting there,
Probably, yes.
not listed.
Probably, yes. So sometimes when you look at these, you'll see a lot of these. So maybe they pay a little bit, and then they're, it's been sitting, and then, you know what I mean? But what it provides you with is an opportunity to see what, I've gotten reactions from well, this is too much information. How is that? You're a realtor. You have an opportunity to hear you can get this. This is public information. So you just have an opportunity to see it without driving down to the courthouse.
I can see where it could be allowed, because this is being provided by the county, yeah, the property is sold by the bank. So there's a period of time for the data goes back to the county
Mhm.
to get plugged in,
Mhm.
to get recorded.
Mhm.
So when the deeds get transferred,
Mhm.
it doesn't go in immediately.
But there's still a lot of them that are still there.
Right.
So for the investor
On this
from
particular property, I mean, it could be that he sold, but the information has not made it back to the county.
Mhm. Mhm. So, okay, so let me see what I want to go to. Let me go to charts and graphs here. This is charts and graphs. You know, if you're working with an engineer, they love this. This is, you know, you've got your median listing prices, your sales volume data, your listing volume information, and you know, you can go through each one of these here to get even more. This is listing inventory for the area, right? Here's your inventory of distressed properties. Now, again, you might say, well, how accurate is this? Over here where it says about this data, you click on it, and it shows you the count of distressed properties in the zip code. Source is MLS and public records. Update is daily. Okay? Median sales price by square footage about this data tells you update is monthly. So, you know, you have all of that here to help you to know. Price per bedroom sold, broken down for you, range of homes sold, age range, all there.
Are these reports printer friendly? I see the
Mhm.
little dashes up there. Is that where the page break is?
They're printer friendly. When I show those to you, and I'll email it to you, I'll be happy to. You choose the pages that you want, and they come in PDFs. It prints into your account, and then you email it to yourself, basically. And so that gives you an opportunity to open it on your iPad and have it in iBooks and slide through it right there on your iPad, or print it out once it's inside your account. So it doesn't go to a printer. It PDFs right into your, yes. Now, you might be looking at this property and saying, well, you know, your seller might say to you, you know, when I bought this house, I did some improvements on it. And I spent $10,000 on the kitchen. So here is where you could come in under the Refined Value tab and hit the drop-down menu right over here where it says Add a Home Improvement. And if they say, okay, well, we did a kitchen remodel, okay, and it was a mid-range kitchen remodel. We spent $10,000 on it, right? So when did you do it? Well, we did this back in March of 2010. And you spent how much? Well, we spent $10,000. So you add that to your CMA. We're not doing one now, but just to give you an idea, right? And then once you type that in, you select Add. Well, you're only going to get $5,933. That's what you're going to recoup. So it provides that service. Well, how do you know? You know, how do you know that that's correct? Well, you know, we're not the subject matter experts in this. We have information that's been fed in from a company called Hanley Wood. Hanley Wood are experts that write Builder magazine. And they take their own algorithms that deal with labor costs and material based on that month and that year and feed the information into RPR. So it depends on the time of year, costs of labor, you know, labor and resources and everything to give you those numbers. And this is a great website for you to visit, to see, and to get really great information. So if you go down here where it says subscribe to newsletter, you might find some useful publications. They have all types of publications here. Not only what you see here, but if you hit expand and continue, you'll find more. So I would check it out. It's HANLEY WOOD, hanleywood.com. Okay, as we go down here, you'll see that what it did, it refined the change, and it actually would refine the estimate on it. Down here, you'd be able to add more and more. So they've got several scenarios in this area for you to use. If you, and I was just going to say, if you want swimming pool, what you need to do is, and I'm encouraging all realtors to do it so that the designers will understand the importance of adding this. There's an area here called Log a Bug. And I'd appreciate it if you'd come over to Log a Bug and add in your comment or your request and send it to RPR so that they know that that's an important part
They
of.
don't have swimming pool up there?
No, they don't. They don't have swimming pool. They don't have like boat deck, like, you know, things that you would find important. Those are not in here. So I would definitely.
Just had carpet, so you can only get $5,000 worth of carpet in the unit.
Carpet?
Or paint.
No.
Yeah, well, we painted last year, it cost $7,000.
Really?
Yeah,
Paint.
I know.
That's why I'm a technology coach.
Or landscaping. Now, you know, we did all that landscaping.
Custom drapes.
It cost us $5,000 to do that landscape.
Right here, local market conditions. Oh, we have a lot of lot value properties around. They are building some amazing properties around here. So, you know, the local market conditions are incredible. We're just going to go ahead and move it up because it's hot, right? So that updates your slider area. It makes changes to it. Home exterior, you know, you didn't do a really good job of keeping up the outside. You forgot. You were blind while you were walking in. You know, the interior is all right. Lot size fine, view is fine, and privacy. So that makes the changes on the adjustment. So when you're doing the CMA, that's what you would do. Is that making sense? Okay, great. I'm going to talk about comp analysis later, but over here is where you will go in and look at more about the neighborhood. And we'll look at the neighborhood report after. Now let's just look at schools. This is where the schools are. The schools, if you want to look at schools nearby, you can click on schools and you can click on show next 5. Let's click on a school so you can see what that looks like. Anybody have a particular one of this list?
Venegas.
Sorry?
Venegas?
Venegas. Okay. So if I click on this school here, Venegas, they get a 10 out of 10 with schoolsrating.com. That's the feed that comes into RPR. They give you the address, the phone number, the school district, and so forth. And it tells you how many are enrolled, how many students per teacher, and the free lunch program. And then it gives you the test scores, assessment scores, knowledge skills, and of course where the data is coming from, how often it's updated. And then up here at the top, next to summary, you've got reviews. On reviews, you will see comments from the teachers, the parents, and the students.
So these are not necessarily the schools that serve that property address, though, because I noticed there were 2 elementary schools listed.
No, it's a standard feed on this side of every property.
In that zip code.
Correct. And then if you look over here to the right, you'll see that what it does, it says listings associated with this school. Does it make sense? Spring text says 77379 about the neighborhood. So these are median listing prices in that area. More about the neighborhood, we'll talk about that when we come back from break. Any questions? Anything? Any comments?
Pretty nice, that one.
Does it meet your expectations so far? Okay, so let's take 10 minutes.